Imagine this. It's the winter of 1379. A young woman named Eleanor, just 23 years old, stands alone in a freezing stone cell deep beneath a castle in northern France. For 6 days, she's heard the chilling sounds of masons hammering above her, scraping stones, mixing mortar. On the 7th day, silence. The door creaks open, but instead of freedom, the masons start building a wall right in front of her, brick by brick, sealing her inside, alive. She screams, begs, pleads her innocence, but no one listens. Why? Because her husband accused her of adultery, and in medieval Europe, that was enough to doom her. Friends, if that hooked you in the first 10 seconds, stay with me, because what happened to Eleanor wasn't a rare horror story. It was part of a brutal system that destroyed thousands of women, noble or peasant, for accusations that were often baseless. Today, we're diving deep into one of the darkest chapters of human history, the most horrific punishments for cheating wives in medieval Europe. I'll build the suspense, reveal the shocking truths from historical records, and by the end, you'll be left questioning how society could normalize such terror. But first, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is history we can't afford to forget. Let's begin. Before I reveal what happened to Eleanor in that sealed tomb, whether she escaped, how long she survived, or the full nightmare of her fate, I need you to understand this wasn't isolated. In medieval Europe, from England to Germany to France, women accused of adultery faced punishments worse than death, worse than torture. These weren't myths or exaggerations. They're documented in court records, church archives, and chronicles written by the people who carried them out. Why? Because in a world ruled by men's honor, a wife's suspected infidelity wasn't just the personal betrayal. It was a threat to the entire social order. A husband's word was law. Evidence? Often gossip or a fleeting smile. And the punishments? Designed to break women physically, mentally, and socially, turning them into living warnings for every other wife. Think about it. How could Christian Europe, with its cathedrals and codes of chivalry, justify such barbarity? We'll uncover that. But to build the picture, let's start with Marjorie, a story from 1342, Yorkshire, England. Her fate will chill you and help you grasp what's coming for Eleanor. Marjorie was 31, married to a wool merchant named Thomas. He traveled often, leaving her alone. One day, a neighbor spots a young baker, William, entering her home while Thomas is away. Another hears laughter inside. That's it. No proof of anything more. But gossip spreads like wildfire. Thomas hears it on the road, smirks from other merchants about his entertaining wife. His honor shattered. He accuses her of adultery. In medieval law, his word alone seals her fate. No defense allowed. Why? Because women were seen as naturally deceptive. Her testimony? Worthless. Now picture the village square. The entire community gathers as the blacksmith heats an iron rod till it glows orange. Marjorie's hands bound. She feels the heat approaching her face. The rod is shaped into an A for adulteress. He presses it to her cheek. The sizzle, her scream echoing, the smell of burning flesh, held for seconds to scar forever. She collapses, sobbing, the black A oozing blood. But friends, this was just the start. The real horror, it gets worse. After the branding, they drag her to the pillory, a wooden frame locking her neck and wrists in a bent, agonizing position. For 3 hours, under the sun, the crowd pelts her with rotten eggs, mud, and stones. Even children join in, laughing as they throw filth into her fresh wound. Infection sets in immediately. Her cheek swells, turns purple. But the next day, more. They strap her to a ducking stool by the river, plunged into freezing water 20 times, each longer than the last, gasping, choking, near drowning. By the end, she's blue, limp, barely alive. Marjorie survives, barely. but divorced, destitute, branded, no work, no church, no mercy. She wanders, begging, until infection and cold claim her at 33, found frozen in a ditch, buried unmarked, like trash. And the twist in her story? William the baker later swore nothing happened, just bread delivery. But too late, she was gone. Friends, if Marjorie's tale horrifies you, hold on. Because for noble women like Isabella, the punishments were different, but no less soul-crushing. And it builds to Eleanor's nightmare. Isabella, 24, in 1326 Burgundy, married at 14 to a cold baron twice her age. Lonely in his castle, she befriends the chaplain Pierre. Innocent talks about books and philosophy, but whispers reach her husband Geoffrey. His son, fearing inheritance loss, fans the flames. Geoffrey accuses her. Trial in his court. She can't speak. Evidence? Gossip. Desperate, she chooses trial by ordeal, carrying red-hot iron 9 paces. Imagine grasping glowing metal, flesh melting, smoke rising. She walks, screaming inside, drops it. Bandaged for 3 days. Unwrapped, infected, charred. Guilty. They declare God's judgment. Rigged. Burns always infect in medieval times. Geoffrey can't kill her family too powerful. Instead, he imprisons her in a remote alpine convent. Not as a nun, as a prisoner. Shaved bald, stripped, locked in a tiny cell. 1 meal a day, bread and water. Isolation total. No visitors, no letters. Forced confessions daily. 23 years she endures. Dying at 47, skeletal, broken, erased. 23 years for conversations. How? Because noble honor trumped truth. But wait, for peasants like Alice, it was even bloodier. Her story, pure brutality. 1368, southern Germany. Alice, 26, farmer's wife, 3 kids. Chats briefly with a traveling merchant at the well. Public, innocent stories of far lands. She smiles, laughs. Villagers gossip. Her husband, Hans, accuses her to restore honor. Convicted on suspicious behavior. Punishment? Stripped naked in the square, head shaved bloody. Paraded, whipped relentlessly, back torn open. Crowd throws filth and stones. Then, mutilation. Blacksmith saws off her left ear, blood gushing. Brands H on her forehead. She faints, revives to agony. Left alone, her husband takes the kids, annuls the marriage. Mutilated, she begs, wanders. Infection kills her at 27, ditch side. Merchant later confirms, nothing happened, just talk. Now back to Eleanor. Sealed in that cell, wall complete, darkness absolute. Minimal food through a slit. She screams for days, then weakens. Historical records show she lasted 42 days. Starving, mad, alone. Body removed, buried secretly. Crime? A corridor chat. Husband tired of her. These women, Marjorie, Isabella, Alice, Eleanor, real victims of a system where accusations were weapons and violence normalized. Thousands more unnamed. In those tourist castles today, echoes of screams. The twist? This isn't ancient history. Echoes linger in modern gender injustices worldwide. Remember them. Fight for equality. If this moved you, subscribe now. Join the conversation. Comment what shocks you most. Share to spread awareness. See you next time. Stay curious, stay just.